What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Whose Fault Is It? This episode is Know the Difference, the podcast where real conversations, real stories, and real healing come together. I'm your host, Brianna.
And I'm your co-host, Izzy. And we're so excited that you're here because around here, we laugh, we learn, and we even cry a little. But we remind you that it's okay if life gets just a little crazy.
Hey y'all, I'm Carrington. I'm your panelist for today, and I'm here to keep it real and share my opinions. So buckle up because today's conversation is about to get interesting.
All right, and I'm Nicole, and I'm the producer, and you can find our podcast on all streaming platforms like Pandora and Apple Music at 6 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday.
So lay back, grab your snacks, turn up the volume, and let's get into today's conversation. Welcome to Whose Fault Is It?
Sexual assault is a dire social issue that happens in America. Can you guys break down the different... My bad. Sexual assault is a dire social issue that happens in America. Can you guys break down the different types and what sexual assault actually is?
All right, so first up is sexual harassment. That's unwanted sexual comments, jokes, messages, or gestures, or even touching that makes someone uncomfortable.
The next one would be sexual abuse. Sexual abuse usually involves repeated or ongoing sexual behavior towards someone without their consent.
Then there's sexual assault. Sexual assault is any sexual contact or behavior that happens without a person's consent.
All right, and the last term is sexual exploitation. That's when someone takes advantage of another person for sexual purposes, often for money or power. Okay, my hosts and panelists, I have a few questions for you guys. The first question, why do you think African American communities might not like to touch on the topic of sexual assault?
I feel that in African American communities, it's kind of hard to touch on those things, especially if you're a child, because some people don't want to expect that children go through things, or they may think that their child is lying, or may take the other side over their child or any child for a fact.
I agree with Brianna, mostly because, yes, most black communities, have the idea that kids don't go through anything or that it's their fault and the adults aren't responsible, even though adults know what they're doing, but kids do not. Or it can be against kid, and they don't know what they witnessed, so they don't even know what's wrong or what is not wrong about it.
All right, I disagree. I think that the parents and families actually do know. They just choose to sweep it under the rug and act like stuff didn't happen. Okay, any final thoughts? No, you can go to the next question. All right, our next question. How can schools implement different lessons or things that make it more comfortable for students to talk about sexual assault? I think, the more conversations we have and learning, it's okay that the conversations can be uncomfortable. I think that's how mental health became so, normalized, I'd say. I think that you have to be able to talk about it. It shouldn't be something that's nasty or uncomfortable or embarrassing. You have to be able to speak on it to cause change.
I definitely agree with Nicole. And, maybe, groups. So, some kids, you can't necessarily talk about all things as a class. So, just having little resources where kids can go to and, express themselves without, another kid hearing it. Because kids can be mean. So, all kids don't understand the seriousness of sexual assault or sexual abuse or whatever form it's being happened in. So, yeah, just little resources throughout the school or even with parents at home.
And to piggyback off of that, also, if a kid feels comfortable, maybe them sharing their experience, because sometimes it leaves a longer effect if a kid's talking versus an adult. Okay, good thoughts, guys. This is my last question. Oftentimes, people see friends or people they know going through this. How can we make it with more spaces kids are comfortable in sharing what their friends are going through and how they can report it?
I feel like people don't look at it like this, but social media can be a big help because if you see maybe somebody who you inspire off of or as a role model, and they they've been through the same thing, maybe I can share me being through the same thing, or just therapy. Black communities don't really look at therapy as a good resource, but therapy can really help, especially with little kids who don't feel comfortable sharing certain things with their parents or teachers or maybe even friends, because they're scared their friends are going to look at them different.
I totally agree.
Okay, any other thoughts?
What are your thoughts?
Okay, my thoughts. I do agree with what Izzy says about therapy and stuff. So I think people need to make more third spaces or utilize them more. I think using things like churches and stuff like that, it can kind of help kids as an outlet. It makes like talking about mental health or sexual assault less scary because it's a place that they know. I think therapy is more of a traditional way. And sometimes people might not be like safe in talking to somebody like that. So going to like a church or somewhere else, I feel like that would be really good. So, yeah. But thank you guys for sharing your opinions.
Now that we've heard y'all personal takeaways, let's hear. Hopefully that's something our listeners take with them too. Thanks for listening to Know the Difference. We hope you learned something new. Remember, learning these terms help us support others, speak up when something isn't right, and create safer communities.
And just like that, another conversation is in the books. Thank y'all for hanging out with us today.
We laughed, we shared, we debated a little, and hopefully gave you something to think about on your way out.
And if you didn't agree with us today, that's okay. Just remember, somebody's got to be wrong.
All right, y'all, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Sowing Seeds With Faith and subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a review. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. on all streaming platforms.
Make sure you tell a friend about this episode and tell somebody to join the conversation. Because at the end of the day,
the question still remains.
Whose fault is it?
All right, that's right.
Okay, real quick, y'all. This is very important for everybody, okay?
Whose fault is it?